This weekend sees us arrive in Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix. First up is today's practice session. This is a popular location for many of the teams. The circuit is extremely demanding for both the drivers and the cars, and that makes it a very exciting place to race.
It's certainly a track that's liked by the drivers, providing a good set of challenges when racing. It has two long straights that allow for great overtaking opportunities and a very complex 360-degree right-hand corner combination just after the start-finish line. It's a circuit that really has a bit of everything.
Shanghai has produced some very memorable races in the past, in particular the 2007 championship battle, where many would say Lewis Hamilton lost the championship right here.
Well, he stayed out too long on a set of worn tyres and then got stuck in the gravel trap when he came into the pits. It was surely one of the most pivotal races that season, and one that will be remembered for a long time to come.
Alright, what's up guys, and welcome to part 4 of my Daniil Kvyat Road to Glory series. So here we are in China, probably one of my most hated tracks. I really hate this track so much, it is ridiculous. But as I've never really performed in AOR or TGP on this track. Never works well for me. I don't like how the flow of the track goes. I mean, it just doesn't work for me. Never works for me. Even though I'm pretty fast here, it just never seems to go well for me. So as we load our setup there, you can see one of the wings. I actually changed that at the end of the practice. I think we went with 3-2 wings, which still gave me a bit of understeer. But anyway guys, let's jump on to qualifying and see how we do for the Chinese Grand Prix.
It's Saturday afternoon here in Shanghai as the cars are preparing to go out on track to begin qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix. Ferrari and McLaren have enjoyed lots of success here in Shanghai, Ferrari having won 4 times and McLaren 3 times, and that's quite a success rate considering the first race was only back in 2004.
Well, going off past history, I would expect Fernando and Lewis to do well, having both won here multiple times before. You have to imagine they'll be in the mix at least for a podium finish.
So here we are guys, getting ready for our one-shot qualifying lap time on the option tires. Now going on to the Shanghai International Circuit, we're just going to change our camera mode since we were in the wrong camera. But here we go, the right camera mode now, come down to turn 1, going down to 4th gear, turning off DRS just before the entrance. You want to have it on as long as possible, and you want to be as daring as possible with the entry speed into that corner. Ugh. And now coming out of this very snaily section, we're actually in P1, but you see on the traction zones the AI are just flying away. It is absolutely ridiculous with this game. I think the Codemasters should really do something about that, because it's getting sort of annoying that you can't race against the AIs on traction zones. It gets kind of boring when the AIs always out traction you. You have no chance of maybe taking them around the outside or anything like that, because if you try to get on the gas as early as they do, you'll just lose the rear end if you're driving with no traction like I do in both career mode and in online, I mean. So now coming towards the beginning of sector 3, now coming towards this very tricky section of traction, you really want to get a wide, you really want to run wide on that corner and then just try to stay on track. I really had trouble with that in this weekend with understeer there, but the thing was I couldn't really change the wings too much because I had huge amounts of oversteer sometimes going like out of that corner, so it was both oversteer and understeer, which is very weird, and it's really hard when you get that to really get the setup right. But I managed to get it as good as possible. Now coming towards turn 1, we are in P7. We're probably going to lose a few positions through this corner since the AIs are really fast through there. Yeah, you can see down to P9 now, and that will be P9 for Daniil Kvyat in this Chinese Grand Prix qualifying. As you can see, he's decently happy with the result. I am also pretty happy for knowing that we're not too good at this track. But anyway, going to leave you with the results now.
It's been a good session for Red Bull today. They've been able to get both cars on the front row of the grid for tomorrow's race.
What?
It's been a great session for
Red
the
Bull?
team. They've really been
pushing
hard
stupid?
to make this happen, and their hard work has been rewarded.
Alright, Crofty. Crofty has totally lost his mind. But anyway, that's P9 for us in the Chinese Grand Prix qualifying. So anyway, let's jump on to the race and see what positions we can get.
It's now time to sit back and relax and enjoy the show. It's time for the Chinese Grand Prix here in Shanghai. Here's today's pole sitter, Lewis Hamilton. When I was speaking to him early on, I got the sense that he has total confidence in himself and his Mercedes car to take that race victory today.
When we spoke to him earlier, he felt that this was a
Oh hey,
great
look, that
opportunity to
mechanic
go and
pursued
win.
his career
He knows
of
he
wanting
still
to
has
join the
plenty of
media.
work to do.
That's good for him
Anything
at
can
least.
happen in the race,
Let's all
so you have to
congratulate
keep your
that
feet on the
random
ground
mechanic.
until you take the checkered flag.
It was a good win last time out for Lewis Hamilton, who will still be feeling buoyant going into today's race. He knows he's got the beating of the rest of the field as long as he doesn't hit any reliability issues with his Mercedes.
Well, Lewis can beat anyone on his day. His pace has been second to none at times. He just has a knack of finding those extra tenths which others can't. I'm expecting him to be particularly strong at the end of the stints today.
So here we are on the starting grid for the Chinese Grand Prix, and you can see our usual strategy with option and then going on to the primes later in the race. So let's get this race started and hopefully we can just get a decent result here and move on to some of our better tracks, as we now got 4 and 5 and the lights are out and away we go. We got a horrible start. You can see the wheel spin just wanting to take me right off the track, and we've been overtaken by a Force India and a McLaren. But we're going to try to round some cars around the outside here as a rounded Raikkonen. We're going to maybe take Alonso and maybe Ricciardo, maybe, just maybe. But he's closed the door very late there and we just managed to get away without any contact and any damage to our front wing. You just see the car letting go. It's no grip. There is no grip in the tires at the beginning of your stints. It's ridiculous. Even when you're in the pits, the tires are just all over the place. It's like they don't want to be on your car. They want to get out of there. Anyway, having a great battle here with Ricciardo, who's actually sticks it around the outside after that corner, which then turns to the inside, so he managed to keep the position. But that was what I was talking about earlier with the traction. It's ridiculous how the AIs just can so easily out-traction you. It sort of destroys the racing experience a little bit, but you're not able to race them really that easily, side by side. So if you want to be able to race them in traction zones, you gotta use traction control, and I just don't do that, and I think I'll never use traction control on this game. But anyway, here we are on the straight, soon coming to the end of lap 1, and we can see Alonso almost closing in on us a bit. They really seem to have a good top speed, the Ferrari guys, but I had really good top speed too. I did in the practice. Actually, I saw a Raikkonen. I actually did like a straight line test, and he came alongside me, and I pulled away from him even though he was using DRS and I didn't. So that was a good indication of top speed, but really you don't want too much of the low downforce on this track, as there are a lot of fast and sweeping corners that you need downforce for. So anyway, as we got Ricciardo almost half a second ahead of us, and just really frustrating at this point. You know, they're just pulling away and I'm pushing so hard. You can just see the car is all over the place, and Alonso just keeping up with. It's a huge strain. As we now cut on to lap 2, as we had a huge pile of understeer as we go wide and understeer after getting some oversteer. That's what I was talking about, a huge problem getting oversteer and then understeering, which that's also a very frustrating thing with this car. Just awful steering. But anyway, as we got the Ferraris all over us now, they really want to get past, but we are not going to make it easy for them. We have pretty much nothing to lose here, and we just want to try to keep these guys behind. Or maybe we have something to lose, but I really just don't care. If they want to try to get past, I'm not going to let them. So now cutting on to the end of sector 2 here on lap 4, coming towards this snail section of the track. I wonder these where, you know, those writing arms to the left on the what the hell are those, where the people sit? Anyway, does anyone sit there, or just those letters there? I've always wondered. But anyway, someone knows that, so comment down below if you know that. As we now go down back down the inside of Raikkonen, who just tried to move on us, but we're gonna force him out and leave no space, because we are an absolute douchebag on this track now, because we are actually causing a huge Daniil Kvyat train right here. And as you can see, the Ferrari is now battling, and I really think I do not want to let anyone else pass. I don't want to lose the 7th position, because I now have a chance of getting a decent result here in China, where I really do suck. I really I'm really not good at this track, and to get a P7 would be awesome. But now cutting on to lap 5, this is really tricky part of the track. As you can see, almost understeering off track, and Alonso is now all over us. He's gonna be trying to make a move down the inside maybe. Yes, he's gone down the inside. We're gonna try to squeeze him as far as possible. Maybe try to regret him making that move. As we now got Raikkonen around the outside. We've been sandwiched by the Ferrari drivers. I'm getting all... It's like I've had to talk so much to that part. But anyway, Raikkonen has made a move around the outside of us. And now coming towards turn 1, we need to get a good exit to maybe be able to overtake Raikkonen going into turn 1. So as we now got DRS, we are closing on rapidly on Raikkonen on the straight. Gonna maybe try and move down the inside. But he brakes really early and he turns in. We make a little bit of contact and he drops behind us, and I'm not going to let him back pass because that would just be kind of stupid since I didn't get a penalty. And you can call me unfair or anything as a driver, but these are AIs and I just really don't give a crap about them. So now Raikkonen maybe going to pull a move on us going down to this corner. We're going to have to pull over to the middle of the track to try and block him making an overtake and just piling the curb there, leaving absolutely no space for him to overtake on. And now coming towards us, very fast left-hander. Actually, my car is not good on this part of the track. Really slow, really god-awful. And now coming towards this really crucial part of the track. You just gotta try and make every traction zone on this track count. Because if you don't, then you'll definitely lose positions to the AIs. If you don't make it like do all the traction zones really well, you'll easily lose out to the AIs. And you can see massive oversteer that corner, almost understeering off the track. As you can see, Raikkonen has now gotten past us, and he's gonna be maybe gonna be able to come back. Yes, we are. We haven't even got DRS. He's got DRS, but we're still pulling alongside him. That's an amazing top speed we got there, and I don't understand how I got so much wings, but still that's happening. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Raikkonen still keeping it ahead of us as he pits, and we've decided to actually stay out. And as we went through the final corner, I might just have regretted staying out. But now coming towards the end of sector 2 on lap 7, going through the snail part once again, my most hated part of this track, especially because of the traction. And now we got Jensen Button behind us. He is going to be trying to pull a move on us down the straight, and he's gonna actually pull it off. We're gonna try to brake as late as possible without braking too much and maybe spinning. So let's see what we can do here. Braking pretty late, but we brake all far too late, and we just spun it. We've spun it, and now Jean-Eric Vergne is actually ahead of us, and he's gonna be able to get into the pits first. So we're gonna have to do one more lap. This is actually gonna ruin our race. This is horrible. Oh god, this is just awful. As you can see me just running while the tires are just gone. There are no tires there anymore, as we now cut into the pits on lap 8. And you can see we were off the track just before the pit entry. Now coming into the pits and hoping for a quick stop, and I'm hoping that we can come out somewhere around our teammate, hopefully ahead of him, but I don't think that's gonna be even possible since we had such a poor in lap. It was just god awful poor. But anyway, now coming out of the pits, we can see Jean-Eric Vergne passing us just about now. There we go, Jean-Eric Vergne. And now we got Nico Hülkenberg. Oh, so close there to contact, but we're going to dive it down the inside here and try to maybe squeeze him off to be able to get the position. And he's still there, he's not giving up. He is not giving up. As we bang wheels there, still side by side. You can see me just, the car not wanting to go in a straight line. Now we got Fernando Alonso just behind us, trying to make a move. This is really not what we want on new tires. We really don't want to wear them out right away, and we want to try and stay with Hülkenberg because we want to get into the points. We're actually not even in the points now at this point. And Nico Hülkenberg, not the fastest of guys. I just struggled at the start of that lap with cold tires, but now we're really close to Hülkenberg. Something flying in the air there, don't know what the hell that was. But now getting really good traction here. Gonna maybe try to make a move on the straight or before the straight if that's possible. So now coming towards the end of lap sector 2 and the snail section again, touching the rear end of Nico Hülkenberg. We got such a much better exit here, and we're gonna try to make it down the inside, maybe wheel banging once again for the second time this lap with Nico Hülkenberg as he gets a very poor exit out of that corner. And Alonso gets a huge huge advantage here when we both battle, and he's maybe going to try to pull a move down the inside here. He's going to try to dive it, going to have to leave him some space on the inside, and he's still there, but now he drops back, and Nico Hulkenberg loses 2 positions right there. Now cutting on to lap 10, Alonso trying once again a move on us, and once again down the inside on the back straight. He just kept on trying throughout the race, and we just kept on trying to keep him behind, and you can see here really struggling with the oversteer as Alonso actually gets ahead of us. But we're going to try to get back at him with the DRS, and we will see if we'll be able to do that. We got so much better top speed here, so maybe we will be able to do something, as we see a car coming out of the pit lane as we get a screen freeze. That's a huge problem in this game, as Codemaster, you got to fix that. But now going down the inside of Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso, what an amazing advantage we took of that, as Alonso gets slowed down by Sebastian Vettel coming out on new tires into turn 1, and we take 2 positions up into P9. Now cutting on to lap 13, we're actually closing in on our teammate. We really wanted to try and get ahead of him in this race and actually get something out of this, but we can see just the traction is horrible as we get out on the grass, and the grass just seems to not want to let us go as it pulls us out onto the grass even more. And now it's still pretty close to Jean-Eric Vergne actually, but something flying in the air once again there. What is that? It feels like it's something, you know, the Felipe Nasr accident he had in Hungary in 2009. Looked like something like that, a spring or something. Now coming on to the last lap here, the final corner on lap 14, we're gonna come home in P9 as Daniil Kvyat in the Chinese Grand Prix. I must say, a decent result for Daniil, as he gets some points from a very poor weekend here in China, and you can see he is actually not happy at all. He is not happy. But I'm going to leave you with the results with Crofty now.
So it was the German national anthem that was played on the podium for our race winners today, Mercedes.
Indeed, they'll be ecstatic with that result, and they should be. It was a fantastic drive.
After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So guys, that's the Chinese Grand Prix done and dusted with. The worst race of the season hopefully now done with, as we get a P9, which I'm pretty happy with. It's a decent result for, I had to go into this race thinking realistically, so I thought maybe P9 or P8 would be great, as we see our teammate getting P8 and getting 4 points for his championship charge. Now we are in P7 in the driver standings on equal points with Sebastian Vettel, and we are 6 points ahead of Jenson Button, and in the constructors we are actually 1 point ahead of Scuderia Ferrari, so we are in P4, which is tremendous result for the Scuderia Toro Rosso team. But anyway guys, this has been Wingsman 001 with Daniil Kvyat, Road to Glory. So stay tuned for the next part, and I'll see you then. Peace.